Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Evan. I'm one of the pediatric chiefs here at Jackson University of Miami Holtz. We're so excited you're here with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. We have an awesome panelist here. We're going to introduce in just a minute, but thank you so much for being here. As we go through this, you can ask as many questions as you like. The chat will be open. We'll do our best to answer every question. If not, we will share emails at the end. But without further ado, I want to first introduce our program director, Dr. Monica Alba Sandoval. You're muted. Gotta love Zoom.
Yeah, I muted because I didn't want to be singing aloud for everybody. Bésame mucho. All right, so starting over. My name is Monica Alba. We welcome you guys for the webinar we have put together for you today. We're very excited. This is one of the ways we want to show you who we are and how we do things here in our program. We have a very nice special set of panelists today. You are going to have residents for all levels. You're going to have attendings and leadership with you here to answer your questions and to get you more to know who we are. I can tell you that we have done this webinar every year since COVID, and I think what is new about this one is we will allow more time for the Q&A session, so more interaction with you. So please don't be shy in asking your questions through the chat or live. We will have, all of us have different roles, so we'll be able to get to you and get to answer your questions. Thank you.
Awesome. So we're just going to go run down the line. Everyone's going to introduce themselves, say a little something about why they love working or being here at Holtz. We're going to start with our Associate Program Director, Dr. Payal Shah, next.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the opportunity of telling you guys a little bit about our program today. I'm one of the Associate Program Directors. I attended residency here and was a chief resident, and now have joined faculty. My favorite part of our program is our patients, how we treat them. For our patients and how we treat them. Our patients are extremely diverse. We treat patients from all over the world and really all over South America, Central America, Haiti, and we have a very unique patient population, which allows us to see a wide breadth of pathology. What I also love the most about our program is how we treat our patients. We truthfully treat our patients equally, regardless of their ability to pay, and with evidence-based care. And I think that's really special to our program and brings me a lot of joy when I work with our patients.
Awesome. And excuse me, people that are attending, applicants, you can keep that in mind. So if we have questions about it, you can always ask them in the chat, and Dr. Shah and etc. will be able to give you some answers to the questions you have in relation to what she has said. Next, we're going to have Dr. Donna Wiener, another Associate Program Director.
So welcome, everybody. What I love the most is the residents, and this piggybacks with what Dr. Shah said. We have incredible pathology here. We also have incredible diversity, not just of patients that bring in their pathology from other countries, but our own faculty and staff. So it's learning about lots of different cultures. Who chooses to come here are people who want to make a difference. They want to be able to provide care to patients who do not have access to care. They want to come to a safety net hospital and really be able to see everything so that they can make an informed decision for what they want to do with their life, but also provide care to those who have limited resources and it's a little more challenging. So who chooses to come to here? And I see the faces of our residents here, and I gave them this same answer when they came and interviewed. The most compassionate, selfless, dedicated, down-to-earth resident and everyone in your year becomes a family, and we become a family together. And I'm sure our residents will tell you that. So the best part of this, to me, is our residents.
Dr. Garcia Chacon, another APD.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome. I am one of the APDs. I am also one of the ward attendings. So I spent all of my clinical time working with residents. I I like this place because it's big. Jackson is I think the third largest public hospital in terms of beds in the country. We are part of Jackson Hospital, or Holtz Children's Hospital. Our department is over, I think, 150 faculty. We're all devoted to the care of our patients. And I know that sounds big, but I hope you'll get a feel, and I think that the residents will confirm that we do. This feels more like a family, really. I think, and it's really nice to work here with all the relationships that we make with the faculty and with the residents. So I think that's the reason why I'm here, because of the relationships we have, our patients, and I just happen to like a big, busy places.
I love it. Amazing. We have one of our awesome attendings who is also a former chief, Dr. Chamorro, on the panel.
Hi guys, how are you? I'm Dr. Chamorro. I'm a pediatric Chamorro Dower. I have two last names, but I go by either one. As Evan says, I am a quadruple. I'm a very proud quadruple cane. So as you can see in the background, if anybody went to UM undergrad, I went to UM undergrad. Then I came to med school here at the U. I stayed on as a resident. I did a chief year, and then I stayed on as faculty. My favorite thing about the program is really the people. I think during my residency, I felt really supported, which is why I stayed on to do a chief year. I was pregnant my third year, and I really received a lot of wonderful support from my faculty, my PD, the mentors. And in a way, I've grown to really want to pay it forward. And that's what I focus a lot of my life on, is like a lot of student mentoring and mentoring for the residents, because I really want to pay it forward. And I always was really happy where I was at. So that's why I've kind of stayed. And so, yeah, overall, the relationships are my favorite thing about the program.
And we have a lot of, I think, quadruple legacy attendings now who have kind of
There's
been.
a lot of us. Yeah.
I was going to say,
we don't leave.
there's a small contingent. Next, we're going to go with our residents. I'm just going to go in random order here, the way I see y'all. Jessica, say hello to us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica. I am one of the second-year residents. I'm originally from Venezuela, but I've been living in Miami for like 14 years now. I did med school at Nova, Southeastern University, the DO program. And I guess what really brought me to Jackson, the main thing was everything I had heard about the patient population that we serve. And I definitely am so grateful to have this opportunity. We really learned so much from the patient population. And I definitely cannot miss out on saying that my co-residents are like my family. They make all the days better, all the amount of hours we work 100 times better, more fun, and can definitely count on them even when I'm not at work. Yeah, happy to be here.
Amazing. Next, we're going to introduce our future chief, Dan Kim Pham. Say hello to us.
Hey everybody, my name is Dan. Thank you for the introduction, Evan. I'll be the next rising chief next year. Originally from South Florida, went to FIU Medical School. Really came into Holtz Children's because I saw the relationships. It was during COVID. It was all online, so it was really hard to say what's a really true, genuine relationship. But these people here, everyone around you, you can really see it. Evan, brought me over to Holtz. I was very happy to work with Veronica as one of my senior teams last year. So, and really the support from top down, from Dr. Alva, all the APDs, as well as all the residents that you really lean on to become a family. Everyone here makes this program better. So.
Amazing. Dan, thank you so much. Next, Veronica, I see you.
Hello, I'm Veronica. I'm also one of the second-year pediatric residents. I am originally from Costa Rica. I moved here really young. I was 2 years old. I went to FAU for undergrad. I came to medical school here. at UM, and now I decided to stay for a residency. I had the opportunity to meet everyone when I was a med student, and I truly had a very hard time finding other places that had the community we have here. And I know a lot of us have been saying that our people are what make the program, but it's true. And I think we're all gonna hit that nail today because it's how we feel. I loved it here when I was a student, love it here as a resident. My residents are truly my family. They're incredible. From day one of matching, we were all friends. We had a group chat together and we hung out as friends and like family since before we started residency. And it's held true all these all these years. I've only been here for like a year, but it feels like it's been many more years. But it's been incredible. And the faculty is the same. I've had incredible mentors the whole way through. So really our people are incredible. I'm so happy here.
This place sounds amazing. Sign me up, Veronica. And our last panelist we have is Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby Llano Cordero, and I'm one of the first-year interns. I'm from Miami also. I left for college, and then I decided to come back home for med school. And similar to what Veronica was saying, I just had to stay. For me, there was really no other option. I just loved Holtz. I got to see it as a med student. I even went away for some rotations, and just for me, nothing compared. And I think the wisest thing someone ever told me is like, the thing that matters the most, the thing that makes you the best doctor is where you train. And I think training at a place like Holtz, it's so impressive. You see the coolest things that you'll never see again in your life. And I think that's really important and valuable in your training to really see it all so you can be prepared to go wherever you are in the world and practice and being comfortable. And I think like everyone's saying is the people, of course, I've only been an intern for a few months and already I feel comfortable with people across all the years, first years, second years, third years, the fellows, everyone is amazing. And the attendings are just impressive. They have so much to offer and they are so willing to offer their knowledge too, which I think makes a difference and is something to really look out for.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. That was a lot of detail. I love it. We're going to do a quick PowerPoint presentation of kind of an overview of our program, just so everyone can kind of get an idea. And hopefully during this time, you can get all of your questions in. The chat is open for everyone. So please feel free. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully it works. Wish me luck. Let's see. Awesome. Amazing. It works. Cool. Perfect. So I'm going to go through it. This is our awesome bear, by the way. I screenshotted it. So it's not everyone thinks it's like a interesting background. Everyone wants it for me. So you can just get it online, just screenshot it. But this is Holtz. Awesome. So just for big picture for everybody, we're a massive institution, a big nonprofit academic medical center. We are closely associated with the University of Miami as well, in regards to our resources, which we'll get into. Let me go here. Why is it not? There we go. Perfect. Oops, there we go. Awesome. So again, we're one of the largest public hospitals in the United States. This is a list of our current institutions that we have as part of our Jackson Holtz family, different places we work. Just to kind of give you a brief overview. In the future, we have a complex medical care clinic on the way. A few years down the road, so it'll probably be by your third year of residency. Pretty amazing, y'all. It's gonna be awesome. A complex medical care. We're gonna have all pediatric care under one roof on our main campus. So that's coming. So big picture, we have 263 beds total. This is kind of our breakdown. These numbers for the ER visits vary year to year, but on average about 26,000. We do see a lot of admissions. We also get about 1,000 transfers on average into Jackson. So we transfer nobody out. So we see everything. We have everything in-house. So it's pretty incredible when you think about the pathology we see. Our playground. So it's literally a playground. This is everything in detail here, but we have a little bit of the Jackson main campus. We also have the University of Miami main campus as well, the medical campus, as well as the Coral Gables campus for some of our specialties. And then your third year, you go over to Mount Sinai, which is the top right picture, the way I see it. And you're overlooking the water, which is pretty amazing. You're going to delivery, you walk out of the room and you're staring into the water. Can't find that anywhere else. Pretty amazing. And again, as a third year, you're there alone. So it's pretty much, you're running the newborn clinic itself, the newborn nursery itself. So it's very exciting. So our diverse population, we keep talking about it, but it is incredible. All walks of life, where people come from. and who we treat. And the languages you hear just walking down the hall, it's pretty remarkable and amazing for us. And it's something that drives us and why we do what we do. And the diverse population is a reflection of our residents, our residency program, our attendings, our faculty, everybody. But that's what drives us is our patient population. And again, we kind of talked about the transfers coming in and the referrals from the international side. So this is just to show you a brief overview on the map. This is literally all over the world, which is pretty incredible. And learning from our residents, I was one of the graduating classes just now, and it was amazing hearing from the people in my class, from Thailand, for example, who came over, and just listening to their stories of how they made it here is incredible, and learning from them. So this is a quick overview of our map. And this is just specific just to our program. So we have 66 categorical pediatrics, 20 medicine pediatrics, and then those are a list of our fellowships. We essentially have almost every fellowship as part of our program as well, which is excellent in terms of education and teaching, and also for your future if you decide to go into a fellowship. So our graduates, this is just kind of an overview pie chart of where our graduates have recently gone in terms of like fellowship versus primary care. Most recently, last year's class, I was like 50-50 about. The year before was predominantly fellowship. And on our website as well, which we'll talk about at the end, you can actually see where they matched, which is pretty awesome. So our program structure, we have something called block scheduling. Some people call it X and Y. We love block scheduling. It's pretty amazing. And it's something that got me through residency personally. You do a strong inpatient month, which is you're working about 6 days a week, about 12 hours a day. And then you do it for a whole month. And then the next month we have something called a minor, which is an elective. So you'll do, you'll do a pulmonology elective for a month. And in that time, you'll have your continuity clinic. And as well, it's more of a, 9 to 5 type of day. So you have more time to do things that you need to do for yourself. So you're not doing back-to-back 6 days a week, 12 hours a day ward shifts, which is something that has been awesome for our residents and a lot of positive feedback only. And again, the most important thing is our wellness with it, which is something we strive for. And we'll talk a little bit about that coming up. Oh, sorry, just to go back. This is on the 7th floor. We have these pods over here. They're for napping. They're excellent. Highly recommend them if you ever get a chance to take a look. Here we go. So these are our rotations. We have a lot of them. I'm not going to list all of them, but everything you can think of, we do have here. It's impressive. It's a very long list. And you can see actually in some of these pictures, there's Dr. Alba, our program director right there. I don't know if you can see my screen, my pointer, but she's wearing the pink over there. Our other chief, Sarah, is up here and also wearing the blue in the bottom picture. This is, of course, in COVID times. And then this is just an overview of our rotation. So this is generally the intern year. So the PGY 1 year, what is going on. So the inpatient versus outpatient side, generally speaking, you'll have 4 inpatient wards, which consist of, there's 2 general teams. It's called red team and purple team, and that's the outline form, as well as we have our subspecialty teams. So there's the blue team, which is GI general plus the transplant team. And then we have our night float system, which is 2 2-week blocks in general of nights, which is for our residents awesome because essentially you're doing Monday through Friday night. You get home Saturday morning, you don't come back again until Monday night. You do it for 2 weeks and you're done, which is pretty awesome. And then one thing I think that I loved when I was an intern was you have 4 weeks of your vacation. So 2 2-week blocks. Additionally, you have an extra week off between first and second year. So that's a 5th week off. And then you have 4 days off between Christmas or New Year's. So half the class does Christmas, half the class does New Year's. And that's something special to our program specifically. So that way people can really enjoy the holidays. And then you can see that's our intern class right now. Wow, that was a quick picture that got up. Amazing. Gabby's there if you look closely. This is our PGY 2 rotations. So one unique thing about the second year compared to the first year is second year is when you start your ICU. So you'll have your 2 neonatal ICU blocks, as well as a month of the pediatric ICU as well as again, the 4 weeks of vacation. We also in our second year have our pediatric mobile van, which is something that's incredible. So we essentially go out into the community and people sometimes will make appointments to come see you, but essentially we go serve the underserved population in general. We go all over South Florida. We went as far as almost to the Keys, which was like an hour and a half away. I'll never forget. I was getting onto the bus. I come outside the bus and it was incredible. The people that showed up, and it was just unbelievable the work we were doing and how happy they were to see a doctor because they hadn't seen a doctor ever for their children. And just, you can't describe the feeling when they're just saying thank you to you for just like looking in their children's ears or, giving them a vaccine. It was pretty awesome. But that's in second year. It's part of that as well. And then now moving to the third year. So that if the bottom right, if you see those pictures, we do dress up days on Fridays. So the classes choose, so the inpatient teams, they choose kind of what they want to do. So this theme was tie-dye with different colors. They even got the Chiefs involved, which was awesome. But third year, big difference. A few things is one, the Mount Sinai nursery. So you'll be doing that where you'll spend a month and you'll be essentially the only resident, and you'll be running the newborn nursery. You're really honing on your skills there as well. And then again, mostly a lot of the same stuff. You also have school health in your third year, which is an awesome block where it's a whole month where you're in the outpatient setting in a school health type environment where it's you as like the primary doctor kind of running a clinic, which again, excellent experience. Education, academic half day. We have that 12 to 3 every Thursday. We're making them more and more interactive. Today was awesome. We did a bingo game. It got pretty intense. Everyone got pretty excited because we had gift cards on the line. So it was amazing. And then we have our simulation lab, which we can go into more as well. And Dr. Alba actually runs it. She's here, our program director. So you'll see her a lot in the sim lab. In education, so morning report is awesome. So on Monday mornings at 8 a.m., one of the primary teams will present a case. We'll break it up by classes, and then they'll share what they think the differential is, and we'll come together and actually learn from each other about what's going on and kind of the workup. And Wednesday mornings, the overnight team presents. And then staff conference is once a week as well. In your second year, in general, you'll present on your staff conference. Dr. Chamorro actually was my attending who helped me with our case. I had idiopathic acute transverse myelitis. It was amazing. Thank you, Dr. Chamorro. Education.
It was amazing.
We had a lot of fun. Education wise too, we have grand rounds once a week. So we have awesome speakers who come from all over the United States, even internationally, to come speak to us. It's really great to learn what's going on in the world and kind of what we can do as pediatricians, right? Future pediatricians of the world, what we can take from it and also build connections. And then list of our specialty specialty conferences, excuse me. And then in your intern year, your first year, you're doing a QI curriculum, which we can talk about in detail. The board review we'll talk about in just a second as I keep going, the education. And then this is overall getting involved. We have a lot of different groups, a lot of different activities, but the most important thing when you're looking at this busy screen is our program is resident run. We, as now kind of being in the hybrid of a chief role on the faculty side, but still being close to the residents, we want everyone to, we want the residents' voice because they're the front line. They tell us what's going on, and we want them to be part of everything that we do, meaning any changes we make, anything we're thinking of, we always want to get a pulse of the residency and the current residents because we want to know what they think. If it doesn't work for them, that's something we have to question, why are we doing it then? I think these committees and what we're doing is the reason why, we're so successful as a program and why our residents love each other and love us, because I think we keep them just as connected to the program as to what we're doing day to day as well in the office. Mentorship, amazing. So you start residency here, like I'm super nervous, I'm just showing up, what do I do? Don't worry, we pair you up with a mentor. We kind of ask you on, before you start, what are you interested in? We find a faculty member that'll we can pair you up with, and essentially you just get to know them. And throughout residency, you'll have many different mentors, but this is just something we try to do in the first week when you start orientation. Scholarly activities. So we have our research symposium. It's around April. Again, it's an awesome time for you to present research you have. We have a few different tracks as well, the allergy immunology, the research, the education track. We also have QI as we discussed. Wellness, amazing. Wellness, super important, right? That's like, we have to talk about, I think it's incredibly important for us at our program. It's something we think about often. So wellness days, that just essentially means 2 days per academic year. You can take a personal day and we make sure that it's protected. You let us know in advance, and it's a day you can, you have a doctor's appointment, something you need to do. You have that protected. We have our retreats, our resident retreats. One in the fall is everyone, and then in the spring we do an individual class one. That'll be usually in the end of March, April time. And then we have, based on the ACGME guidelines, parental leave. So, I just had a son myself, but if you have a child during residency, which is amazing, it's exciting and a lot of fun. We have as part of your wellness is ahead of time, we help you with the leave. So we'll kind of structure with you based on our schedule to make sure that you have the appropriate time off and you don't have to worry about it when you're off. We take care of everything for you, but something that's really important for us. And then a parenting elective, which is new, which is exciting. It's like you're a first-time parent, you just had your baby. We have current attendings. Dr. Shaw is a on the forefront of this. And essentially the attendings who do have children or anybody really talk to the, parents now about how it is to be a parent in the parenting elective. And you educate us as residents kind of what it's like now being a parent and a resident. And financial wellness, CIR, which we can discuss, but it is incredible CIR. It's a resident run union. They advocate for us for everything. I think going off of that, they make sure that we get raises all the time, that we're getting stipends for board material, that our parking only stays to $10, that we have, meal cards for the year, which we can get into as well. Life in Miami. So a lot of smiling faces, life in Miami. I mean, everyone's happy. The weather's generally nice. We have hurricane season, but everyone's pretty happy and there's always something to do. So wherever you're from in the world, we probably have it here in Miami or you'll find it in Miami. So our culture is so diverse, just like our patient population, but I think that's what makes it amazing. We love our residents here. Here's more pictures of all the different classes. And you can see everyone kind of hanging out through different years. This picture in the middle is pretty awesome. You can see everyone dressing up. This was like a fun day. We've worn a lot of fun things on Fridays. The nursing is getting into it. Everyone gets into it. It's pretty exciting. Dan, you're in a lot of these pictures. It's exciting. This is our recruitment. And one big thing to kind of go back to the education aspect is we, in terms of like board style, we make everything kind of board style in terms of like our studying material and how we do everything for academic half days. And I think it's one thing that is very exciting. We have the prep questions, which is something that you get part of your training as well. That's included. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but I just want to make sure I address that. And as we go through Yay Recruitment, I'm going to go to this. So how do you keep track of us? This is our Instagram, y'all. So it's really resident run. Her name is Danielle. She is amazing at it. I don't know what she does. I'm not good at the Insta or social media life, but this is what it is. You can always keep track of us, but really important to stay engaged. And this is our website. It's continually being updated, so please check it out. And there it is. And one other thing I was going to say is, as you go through this whole process as applicants, take a look during your interviews, virtually, of course, Zoom, and take a look at the people. There's a good chance if they look happy, you'll be happy. So keep that in mind as you go through the process. We're so happy you're here. And we hope that you can get all of your questions answered and we can take it from there. But, ooh, wow, the chat is going off. Amazing. As we're doing this, so we're gonna start off with questions that we have. So we got about like 50 questions, I think, from people that were attending tonight. So for the applicants, we're gonna start off with a few of them. First one I'm gonna go is to Dr. Alba. So Dr. Alba, I have a question. So I'm getting ready. I'm gonna hit the submit button, but how do you screen me as an applicant? What should I be worried about?
Yeah, Evan, so just to clarify, so we got these questions when you guys pre-registered, but there have been also many questions. I'm just checking the chat about it. So I'm going to try to address them all. And Donna, you can help me with this one too. So we really have for years, actually before it had a name, practiced the holistic approach to how we see the applicants. The holistic approach means that we take into account the school performance, the scores, and many other activities that the applicant had been involved. We do care of community involvement, leadership, and research, and we actually look at kind of all of them encompassing the person involvement. I think what we really want to kind of discern from that is, trying to identify good people that would actually resonate with the mission of the program. The mission of the program is to serve the underserved, to serve those that are in desperate need with a high complex medical need. Just to give you an example, we are the home for the Miami Transplant Institute. That's why Evan said we do not transfer anybody in. We actually get transferred. We don't transfer anybody out. We get all the transfers in because we are kind of the be and all for pretty much all the babies that we get transferred for. So we need people who is excited about knowing more. And I always say this, we will challenge you intellectually because we want to make you the greatest pediatrician you can be. You will be challenging physically because some of these rotations are going to be intense. You will be challenged emotionally because you would not believe the kind of stories we have. And you will be also challenged ethically sometimes, thinking what's the right thing to do for this family and how can we meet their needs. To do that, we need to identify somebody who has the heart to to accomplish a mission of serving others, mission of helping their own co-residents. And I think that's what the theme is here. You see all these faces here, and that's kind of what identified not only from residents, but faculty and nurses. We're ready to do that, to take the extra step for our residents and, in this case, patients. So that kind of answers how we looked at everything. And we have a committee. The committee is about 30 to 35 people, and we get to work when we have these applications coming to us. It's not a secret. We have about between 1,800 to 2,000 applications, and we actually get into work to discern all these factors that I told you. Now, I saw some questions specific to the IMGs. What we look for IMGs is basically the same. We do know as a program, and I'm an IMG myself, that we have to look into your applications a little different. The report for the medical schools from many of the institutions outside of the United States is not the same detail that we're used to here in the States, but we in the program already have created a system to account for that. We look into your activities, and we also know that the IMGs do have a different level of involvement in community in their country. So we learn by experience and by the years of this program, because this program is very well established, that we need to have a different glance to that. We appreciate all the efforts for observerships. We appreciate when they have experience in their own country working. We appreciate when they have extra training in their own country or here. So what I want to say is that we do have a holistic approach to whether you're coming from the US schools or from the outside. And I think I'm done with that answer. Donna, I don't know if you want to add, but I think I tried to be comprehensive.
Wow.
I agree 100%. We really look at everything in your application. We spend a lot of time looking at it. The other thing is we are blatantly honest about our program. Just as Dr. Alba said, you will come here, you will see everything. You will also work really hard. You have to, because we are very open about who we are and very proud of who we are. It often self-selects. We want you to know who we are so that you can see if we would be a good fit for you.
Amazing. I agree. I think with everything they said, I ditto. I truly believe it. Watching them do this as we prepare for the season, it's incredible the amount of hours and meticulous work they do going into this. We're going to go to another question before we go to a live question that we got that popped up over and over again. So Dr. Weiner, what is the single most important quality that our residents embody? I know this is a loaded question because you can probably go on for hours, but what do you think?
If I had to choose one thing, people who care. You know, you're not going to get to where you are without having the intelligence. Care is the most important thing. You're going to want to help take care of the patients and learn by doing it. And then common sense would be my next thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go to the live chat. I think Dr. Shaw wanted to answer a question from the live chat. It says, how is the community outreach in this? How does this program offer? So how is the community outreach in our program, and what do we offer, Dr. Shaw?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's been asked a lot. So I'm going to speak a little bit to our community outreach as well as advocacy opportunities. So I'll start kind of like at our institution. So at our institution, we have a couple of different areas where we provide community outreach. One would be our Mailman Center for Child Development, which is a really incredible center that focuses on children with disabilities and providing equitable care for them and services that they need in our community. And they really advocate for those children, and we can participate in a lot of their initiatives. We work closely with them in our clinical experiences too, so that's a great opportunity. Two other initiatives that I hold very near and dear to my heart are our school health initiatives and our pediatric mobile van. So our pediatric mobile van goes out in the community, spans like a 60-mile radius in Miami, or 30-mile radius in Miami. And we go north and south, and we take care of children regardless of their documentation. And we're really their medical home. It's like a full service van with all ancillary support staff, legal services. So a lot of wonderful things happen on the van, and our residents rotate that rotate there in their second year. We have our school health initiatives, which are in about, I think, 8 high school and middle schools in Miami-Dade. And we provide care to mainly adolescent patients and patients who might not otherwise have access to steady healthcare. So it's another great outreach opportunity. I personally participate in the Miami Human Rights Clinic, which is a partnership with the University of Miami's Law School, which provides medical affidavits for asylum-seeking patients. So we do pediatric assessments of these patients, and I've had the opportunity to work with them with residents, and it's wonderful. Then on a more local scale, the Florida chapter of the AAP, we've had residents go to school board meetings during COVID and advocate for the health of the children in school settings. We have a lot of residents who participate, like I said, at a statewide level at the Florida chapter, or even a national level, getting grants to work on things like tobacco cessation. We always say that whatever you're interested in, we want to help foster, we want to help mentor. And that's a beautiful thing about our department, as well as the whole university, is you'll find a lot of mentors in everybody. And we really want to see that. And then, yeah, that's my short answer. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to jot them down in the chat.
I agree. It's amazing. I think one thing that's also pretty awesome about our program, again, I can't speak for every program. If there is something you're passionate about in the community, let's make it happen. I think that's something that I think is pretty amazing about the program is that I know for our residents that are passionate about certain projects, they bring the ideas to us. We discuss it and we think if it's feasible or how we can help them, and we pair them up with mentors. So I think there is no, no, we're not doing this. It's, wow, this is an amazing idea. Let's figure out how to make it happen.
Evan, you're muted.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. I'm sorry. My son was screaming for a second. I didn't realize. Oops. So Dr. Garcia-Chacon, I'm going to go to you. What are upcoming curriculum changes overall in the program?
One of the things that we're really excited about that we're just starting now is that we are instituting an outpatient curriculum. So in our continuity clinic, we are basically we're choosing what you might call the bread and butter topics in pediatrics, and we're doing brief sessions with the residents right at the beginning of their clinic sessions. These are, these cannot be, hours and hours. These are very brief, targeted learning about these topics. And I should have said earlier that we have just made the big move to put all of our residents in our continuity clinic, which is the continuity clinic that is attached to Holtz Children's Hospital, which is serves the same population that the hospital serves. So we're excited about that. I think that's, it standardizes everything. The residents still have the opportunity to work in other clinic environments, serving other populations, but their continuity clinic is all together serving the population that the hospital serves. So I think I would say that's the biggest, most recent change that we've seen, and we're all very excited about it. You guys, the residents, can chime in and tell you how that's going, but from what I understand, it's going fairly well.
And just to kind of add to that too, in terms of the changes, I think it's just the beginning. I think we've made a lot of changes so far in terms of the curriculum, but I think just overall in terms of the resident experience, we are actively working with our subspecialists and working with making our subspecialists, our ICUs, essentially every part of the hospital to ensure that our residents are getting the best training possible. So we're trying to do that and hone it in. I think a lot of that will kind of come out throughout the year coming up, but I think that's our goal, right? Which is a big goal, but I think that's the beauty of our family is we are being honest with each other, right? We have to improve this we have to work on, but it's just the small things, but this is where you begin. I think this continuity clinic is going to be awesome for everybody. And it's really our patient population. And before I forgot to mention, I know a lot of us are from South Florida that happen to just be here, which is pretty awesome. But our residency in general, most people are not actually from South Florida. LOL. I say laugh out loud a lot, y'all. It's pretty funny. But yes, just to give you an idea, we have people from everywhere. We just had a potluck, bring your own lunch, like your favorite dish from your hometown, your country. And it was an incredible lunch. I've never eaten so many different foods before. It was very spicy, very sweet. I learned all about grandma's recipes from all over the world. So I think, just to say it again, I think it's just an anomaly that all of us happen to, a lot of us, to be from South Florida. This is not the norm. But just to reiterate that. And I see
want to add, is it okay if I add
Yes, please.
Dr. Garcia?
Oh, you can take it away.
Yes. So yeah, so it was very cool because first we did have a transition to everyone at one continuity clinic, but then we all brought kind of the idea of, you know, hey, we would like some formal education in continuity clinic, because sometimes it can get very hectic. You see patients, you are learning, but sometimes you just have to solidify that learning. So a curriculum was created where every day for 15 minutes before clinic, we meet up, we have a topic to discuss, we do a little bit of reading before, and we can talk about the topic of the week. And it's been really great so far, learning, you know, little bits here and there, but in the big picture is really helpful for our patient care and of course later boards. But it's been going very well. And it's also a very good example of how us as residents giving feedback and the program making some changes to make sure that we are all getting as much as possible from our, you know, days in residency.
And kudos and shout out to Dr. Shaw, who spent an incredible amount of time creating it.
And the residents.
And also coming attractions, y'all. For applicants, we're doing something called an ACC book. What that means is we're talking about our continuity clinic as one of the parts of how it operates, but then we're going to talk about all the different general pediatric hot topics. So like the top 10 topics from GI, neurology that you're going to see, and we're going to make it into a book that's going to be for all of our residents as well. So that's going to be part of the education training as well. And it's being chaired by actually our current residents, because again, resident run program. So Jessica and Co are part of that group, and Veronica. Sorry, Veronica. It's pretty incredible what they're doing. And I'm happy to be part of the team. So we're going to go to another question I see here, Dr. Chamorro. So what are ways, this is something we keep getting over and over again, autonomy, right? Everyone's like, I want autonomy, but like, how does it actually work? How do we increase autonomy in this program? Or we just wake up one day and boom, we're seniors and we run the team.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I noticed when I was a medical student, that the residents really ran the show. And I love that about this program. And I was like, so in awe, I was like, I want to be like them. So, and now as an attending, that's something that I love as well as an attending. Personally, I can speak like as an example of what happens on the wards. And I think something that I love about our, you know, when I have our residents, I tell them, you know, you don't have to call me for every admission. You can come, when you call me with the plan and what you want to do and what questions you have. But I really let the residents be the primary person, being the front person with the families. As you, Evan and Veronica are my residents, so you guys know I'm super available via phone, like at all times. But I really think that residents just love that autonomy and having that very distant, you know, a little bit more distant, you know, supervision. I think at night it's also nice because we are not in-house as the attendings, and so we're available. But really the residents, all the admissions that come in, they're doing the admissions. And then at 7 a.m. we talk to the residents and we're able to give them feedback and really follow up closely. But it's really the residents who are doing the work and making all the decisions. And I think that that is one of the things that we really love. And then as you proceed through the program, for example, in newborn nursery, we work and we train, the residents go to deliveries and they're supervised. But then when you move on and you go to Mount Sinai, I know Dr. Wiener could probably speak a little bit about Mount Sinai, but there you are the person going to the deliveries and you're really running the show. And I think that's a big thing for a lot of our residents who graduate and do locums work. They go work in community sites where I feel like you get a strong training to be the sole practitioner and feel confident as you graduate that you've got it. Another thing that I'll say is, for example, when you are in newborn nursery, for example, we mentioned not all of our residents are from South Florida. A lot of people go back to the Northeast, and if there might be an expectation, we need you to, we want you for this job. At this job, we have you do circumcisions. For example, one of my mentees, we created a rotation for her where she would get the training to do the circumcision. So we can train, we can tailor a lot of the things. But yeah, those are my thoughts about autonomy.
I just want to say one quick thing that I love about the residents. They start as a first year and they're all so scared. I'm going to kill somebody. I'm going to kill somebody. They're like walking around timid. And by their third year, they're running the team. They're confident. They're getting into their fellowships or their practice of their choice. And just seeing that growth is the best part for me.
Yeah, if I may add as well, as an intern myself, I think as you go through every rotation block, the feeling kind of happens again for the first time when you start a new rotation, but you will see that you become a different person from week 1 to the end of week 4. And I think it's really gratifying. And it's because you are really given the opportunity to think for yourself, to think about your patients, and all while having a great foundation of amazing senior residents and attendings.
I just want to add, just to echo what what Dr. Chamorro was saying. I think I agree with that. I think autonomy is one of the things that I would say sets us apart. And the hospital is a resident run hospital. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. Sometimes I go on service and it's the third year that's telling me stuff that I'm not aware of, because you guys are there all the time. You know all the protocols, you know all the changes that are happening always. So I think that like Dr. Wiener was saying, it's just really great to see how you guys go from being interns to getting to third years and really running the show.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of add to that. As Jess and I, we recently did a transition to being the seniors. So a lot of times as applicants, you focus on what's going to happen intern year, what support I'm going to have, or how much autonomy I'm going to have. But then intern year passes and now you're the senior and you're expected to be the senior on the team, which can also be scary. Every step can be scary, but you come very well prepared from intern year. So you know a lot more than you think. So when you're in these situations, you say, oh, wow, I actually know this. And if you don't, that's okay, because we're not expected to know. We're still in training. And our faculty is extremely supportive. I have never had a bad interaction with an attending, and they're always there. I know, like Dr. Chamorro was saying, she's very vocal about us calling her at any point of the day. Dr. Garcia Chacon has also been an attending of mine that did the same thing. And everyone is there, so you also have support. So even if you are expected to have more responsibility, you have people to go to, and they will support you along the way. So you always have as much autonomy as you want, but as much support as you need. So
amazing. Wow. I'm laughing. Someone asked during the interview, someone asked in the chat, I'm just going to say it publicly. Someone said, what should I do to prepare for interview day? And I think within 3 seconds, Dr. Alba, Jessica, myself both said BU, and you earned it. It's pretty amazing that made me laugh, chuckle a little. So Gabby, you're like the star of the show because you're the intern, you're here and you're smiling and you look great. It seems like you're well rested. You seem happy. What's the secret? But really, what's a day in the life of like an intern? Like, what do you wake up? What is it like inpatient versus outpatient? Sorry, that was flooding in the chat here. And then 15% of the questions were about interns and that kind of life. So please share.
Thanks, Evan. Very fair question, because I think that was on the top of my mind too when I was applying not too long ago. I think I look extra well rested because I'm on a Y right now. So I'm on a minor block. I'm currently on outpatient nephrology this month, which has been amazing. I'm learning so much. I was really afraid of the kidney now, so I'm glad I'm learning about it. But yeah, so my day today, for example, I actually had my continuity clinic today. So on Thursdays, I have continuity clinics. I was actually with Dr. Wiener all morning. And like we talked about, we started the day with 15 minutes learning about, today was on firearm safety. So we learned a lot about that, which is really helpful. And then I saw my own continuity clinic patients in the morning. I saw, for example, a 4-day-old for her newborn visit. I saw a 15-month-old, and then I saw 2 brothers, a 5 and a 7-year-old, just coming in for their checkups. And it's really fun. We learn a lot about primary care and prevention. And yeah, then after that, we had academic half day. Today is Thursday. So we were all together, PGY1s through PGY3s, in our giant auditorium. And we actually had Chick-fil-A for free today, which was absolutely amazing. And we had academic half day. So we were sitting through a bunch of interactive lectures. And today was focused on developmental behavioral pediatrics. So we actually played bingo and we got gift cards if you won bingo. And it was really fun. And then after that, because I'm on an outpatient block, I did not have to go back into the hospital today. So I was able to come home. I was able to go to the gym and shower all before 5:30, which is amazing. And that's my outpatient life. And then on an inpatient block, which I started on Blue Team, which is like our GI transplant team, which I was very nervous about because I was like, what is transplant medicine? And I think everyone goes through it. But those days are obviously longer because they're inpatient. So I would get there around 6:30 in the morning. We'd get sign out from the night team where they'd sign out the patients, go over anything that happened. And then after that, until rounds, which were usually around 8:30 in the morning, we would pre-round on our patients. So we chart review them like you kind of have been doing during your rotations in med school. And then you pre-round on the patients. So you go visit all of them. And then we come back as a team and we meet with our attending and usually the fellows, and we round together. Rounds usually last until about lunchtime. And then after lunch, if there's no like noon conference or whatever, then you kind of start getting to your notes and doing all the floor tasks. And if there's any new patients as well, you will admit them to the floor team and kind of work them up and everything. And that's the day. And usually sign out again is at 6:30 p.m. So then at that point, if you're long, we do have long and short call, which is another plus to our inpatient service. If you're on a long call day, you will stay till 6:30 p.m., which is our sign out. And at that point, you sign out all of your patients to the night team. But because there are 2 interns on our inpatient teams, we actually for wellness get to do long and short days. So on a long day, you are the intern who stays till sign out with your senior. You're never alone until 6:30 and you sign out your patients and go home. If you're on your short call day and you're efficient and it goes well, you can leave as early as 4 p.m. Sometimes could be even sooner, depending on how you and your co-intern decide to work and what your senior is okay with and how heavy the patient load is. So on the short days, as long as you get your notes done, you kind of tie everything up with the patients that you are managing, so you don't kind of leave your co-intern hanging so much, you're able to leave early, which is really nice. So those days I definitely go to the gym. I live close to my family. I'll go to my parents' house for a free meal, which is amazing. I'm also recently married, so I'll actually spend time with my husband. We can watch, now it's NFL season, so we can watch football. Like today's Thursday night football, so you better believe I'll be watching that. So yeah, it basically depends. It changes month to month, but it's really nice because when you are on an X block, those are long months, but you know, always at the end, there's a light at the tunnel, knowing you have a Y block coming up. So I think it's really nice that you just get through your 4 weeks, you make it through, and you have great support and you learn a lot and you really master that block. Then you go to your minor block and you're good. So that was a long-winded answer, but yeah, let me know if I missed anything, guys.
Wow, that was great, Gabby. Anybody want to add to it? Current residents? You left them speechless. That's incredible. Oh my gosh. Y'all not amazing. Okay. I was also going to add, I think the thing that I loved personally, because I will say this, is when I was an intern and the short and long day was coming. So like every other day you flip flop, and it is incredible, y'all. Because when it's the afternoon and your co-intern's like, hey, it's coming up your short day, you're going to take it. And it's incredible. And our seniors try to push our interns to go take it. And I think it makes a big difference, not staying till sign out. And it's one thing that I personally like really, really looked forward to and loved. But that's something I think that's really awesome. And going off of that, so we talked a little about it before in terms of, so we have this something called CIR. So it's a resident run union and it's pretty amazing here. And I'm going to let Dan kick it off a little bit about it, but I think it's something unique and exciting and we're pretty lucky to have it at Jackson as part of our program. Dan?
Okay, so I just wanted to add a little bit to the day in the life. Like Miami has so much to offer. There's so much sunshine. You can find anything you want to do. So on your short days, you do what makes you happy. Whether that's going home to your loved one, going out on a bike ride. There's a beautiful causeway. You can go on a bike, you play tennis, which a lot of me and my co-residents do on our days off and our short days. And then basically anything. There's a really good nightlife as well. But as far as CIR, that's our Committee of Interns and Residents, which is our union, who really fights hard for us. Not only is it a committee, but a lot of our residents are involved in it as well. Every year that I've been in Holtz, we've actually had a lot of pay raises. One of the mandatory things was to get up to 60%, and we're way above that now. Most recently, we got a pay raise active October, and a PGY3 salary went from 68,000 to 74,000. Right now, I'm paying 3,100 a month. I get 4,200, and this is all for a 2-2. Me and my wife split costs, so we have plenty of money to live well in Miami. And this committee really fights for us. So they give us pay raises. We make sure that we have good moonlighting opportunities, as well as protect us in many ways. They provide legal, they provide basically anything we really need. And we're very fortunate to have this community.
Yeah, to add to what Dan said about CIR, not only like pay raises, because I mean, this one that's coming in, amazing, so excited. But we also have, we get a stipend, educational stipend at the beginning of the year, which also was just increased with the most recent CIR like bargaining session that we had. So we now get, it went from $2,000 at the beginning of the year to $2,500. And then we also get a food stipend that also was just increased. So now we get $1,500 to be used at a cafeteria. And that's yearly as well. So they not only help us cover for food, they help cover for educational things, and the money comes to you in bulk, so you can use it for whatever you need. And it comes right at the beginning of the year when you have moving costs and all of that, and then also bargaining for the salary. So it's CIR is one of the best things we have here.
Evan, I just raised my hand. Just to give you perspective, guys, Jackson has about over 1,000 trainees. So CIR represents this group of people between residents, fellows, and postdocs. We have over 1,000 trainees. So this is a very important organization within the organization. Their voices are strong. And when you guys have asked about advocacy projects and opportunities, when we ask and we say that it's all encompassing, it's including CIR. So we encourage our residents to participate in CIR, and CIR, as Veronica said, is not just money. There are committees for everything: anti-racism, anti-racism cafes, diversity. For Dr. Shad did this with the breastfeeding and having a space into the program, mental health. So there is many committees in there where advocacy and other projects can be done, including, of course, in the community. So that's kind of give you an idea of how big and how strong this CIR and representation is. I wanted to address the signaling, Evan. There had been many questions about signaling, and as a program, we encourage signaling. We had participated last year in the pilot for signaling, and in our program, it did help us, and we used it. So if you are serious about the program, I mean, we all know that you have 5 signals, so you will use them wisely, but we do encourage people to signal, including our home institution.
Thank you so much for answering that. So we kind of touched a little bit about Miami. We're getting a lot of questions flowing in about life in Miami. You know, what is life like? What is rent like? You know, what are the restaurant scene like? I heard about this thing called Miami Spice. Is that real? So I'm gonna let our residents take it away. It sounds like they all want to talk about it at the same time. So whoever wants to open it up, just tell us about your life in Miami, what it's like, where you live. Does everybody have to live in this place called Brickell? They call Little New York City. Or do people live everywhere? All right, take it away, y'all.
Yeah, so I can start. I love Miami. I didn't grow up here. I moved here for medical school. But I I was going to address specifically the question we got about residents living in the city of Miami or spread out throughout other areas of South Florida. So I think the majority of us do live in Miami-Dade County, which is a very big county, and which can be like North Miami, like the city, where our hospital is located very close to downtown, and then South Miami. There are a few residents that don't live in Miami-Dade County per se, that live in one of the more nearby counties, but that's a little rarer because at that point you'd be getting about an hour away from the hospital. But within Miami, we're spread out throughout the entire county. I know, like, for example, Jess lives up north. I live right next to the hospital. And then Gabby, I think, lives south of Miami. So we're spread out all throughout. And so in regards to rent, like Evan was talking about, I think everyone's aware that Miami became a huge destination during COVID. A lot of people came here. So it really increased our rent prices, and just like the population in Miami grew a lot. But yes, it is a very kind of an expensive city to live in, but we can multiple ways that residents have gone about it. A lot of us have partners. So if you have a partner, it becomes a little bit more manageable. If both of you have salaries, a dual income household obviously helps. For those that are single, some people decide to live with a roommate. I know there's only about 2 roommate pairs in my class, but that's always an option, and everyone's lovely, so you'll have a good roommate, I hope. If for those that say, I just want to have my own apartment, don't want to have a roommate, it's still doable. A lot of our residents decide to have an apartment on their own, and we still are able to pay rent, pay their expenses, and go to work, especially with all the salary increases that we've been getting. It's helped like mitigate those costs. So we won't lie to you and say, oh, easy to manage, but you'll still be able, with good like financial planning, you'll be able to make it work. And then living in Miami per se, very fun city, but I talked a lot, so I'll move on to the next resident, but it's an incredible place to be.
I can chime in now about Miami. And I actually meant to say this in my introduction, like part of like why I love Holtz so much. I mentioned at first, like the hospital that you train at is extremely important. And I think I took that really into consideration when I chose my when I made my rank list. And I think the tied for first with the hospital you train at is the place you live. I really factored geography in heavily because my personal happiness matters a lot to me. And I wanted to be in a city where in the hours I was not in the hospital, I wanted to be happy in, and I wanted to enjoy and be proud of the place I was living. So that's Miami for me. I think it's such a fun city, whether you're from here or not. I think there's something out there for everyone. So when you're out of the hospital, if you love the sun, we have it year round. So that's amazing. You have vitamin D all year round, which is really great. And there's just so many things to do. There's so many good restaurants, which a lot of the residents, we go out to eat together, which is amazing. I think Dan touched on the nightlife. If that's something you're into, there's great opportunities and from all different kinds of nightlife opportunities available for you every night of the week. There's a lot of sporting events. We have every like professional sports team you can think of and go watch. And we actually go as groups. Like we've gone to Marlins games together. The tickets are like dirt cheap, so it's amazing. You can go to the water. There's a beach really close. There's Miami Beach. There's Key Biscayne. We play a lot of sports together. You name it, there's something for you to do here. And I think that's really amazing when you're out of the hospital, that it's a place that you're happy at. And I think it's really important, and everyone should consider that when they're thinking of where they want to train for residency.
Ooh, Dr. Alba, I see your hand in the air. Are you going to Paris? Is that what you're trying to show us?
Listen, I just wanted to tag along with the life in Miami. I mean, we mentioned all these things, but when we sit down with our residents, because we actually sit down with them in semi-annual, so it's every 6 months, we talked about wellness. So a lot of our residents do activities outside, like running. A lot of our residents run, including you, some of you here. And I, for instance, do triathlons, swimming. So there are plenty of opportunities to do that kind of a thing. If you enjoy the weather, it can be had outside. But if you are that type of person that likes outside activities, Miami is a great city to do that. there is a lot of parks in the city that would, or canals where you can go, what am I trying to say? When you're like in one
Kayaking.
Kayaking or paddling, and that makes it fun. So I think that, you know, even for my family, I have two boys now, they're 14 and 12. We have been doing that, you know, since we got here. I have been with the university for the last 10 years. And I think as a family and with friends, it just is an inviting place as far as you enjoy the outside living.
And nobody mentioned the food. How could you not mention the food? Sorry, I love food.
I think the food's amazing. I also think the one, just to add, I agree. I ditto everyone's saying. I think also Miami is what you make of it. You can choose to be, we call it Little New York City, in my opinion, Brickell, which is like the downtown life, which is just like you walk everywhere. It's loud. It's exciting. There's food everywhere. You drop off your car and you go wherever. But you can also be like, you know what, I want more of a relaxing environment, you know, so you can go more west, or, you're like, you know what, I want to buy a house and get a mortgage. Wow. And be a real adult. You can do that too. There's a lot you can do in Miami. It's really up to you. And additionally, having a family here, I have my first son, he's 3 months old, but, residents who do come with their children, in my class, Ebenezer, I love him. Now he's in Texas. I miss him. He's doing cardiology, but he has 2 kids. He had a third one residency intern here. I don't know how he's unbelievable. He lived in Hollywood. He had a house, still made it work, never made excuses, and was incredible. And he chose that because that's what he wanted, to have the house, the family, and all that, and still was very much connected to our whole program. And I think that's one thing that was beautiful. And a lot of the other residents who do have children, they would like hang out, and I would be like, I had FOMO, like fear of missing out. I was like, I want to have a kid so I can hang out with y'all too. And we did anyways, but I'm just saying. Oh, Dr. Shaw, your hand's up. What's up?
I want to say one thing, just as I've gotten out traveling again too. So I grew up in Egypt and then I came straight to Miami. So Miami is really all I've ever known since college. And now as I'm traveling back to these other cities, and has diversity is kind of at the forefront of what everyone talks about, you go to other cities and you just don't feel the level of diversity that Miami has when you go to other big metropolitan cities. It's a very special, special place in that sense, that nobody feels like they're the minority. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. It's a very inviting cities for so many different cultures.
Thank you. Oh, wow, Gabby, there we go. Love it.
Well, I think one last thing, as if you needed more convincing, is I know Dr. Shaw brought up travel, and honestly, a very logistical matter is we have MIA and FLL as our airports. So this is something to consider as well. It is extremely easy to travel. So if you are not from Miami and you want to go home, it's very easy to get on a flight, especially if you're on an inpatient block and you and your co-intern work out a black and a gold weekend, right? A black meaning you work both Saturday and Sunday, to have a gold to have both Saturday and Sunday off. You have 2 very accessible international airports at your fingertips to go where you need to go for the weekend. And obviously for vacation or whatnot, if you make your schedule work. So I think that's a great plus to being in the city.
Oh, Dr. Alba. Hey.
Yeah, Evan, I think I wanted to bring Laura in the conversation because we have talked about families, Laura. But, sometimes people, when we get into the interviews, people ask about, how did you support families? You were a resident here, and I mean, Pyle too, but, what is your perspective for family support, growing your family? You went from being a student, resident, and now an attending. How do you would describe it, or what do you can tell people or share your story?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad we're talking about that. I wanted, before I talk about that, just to add a little bit about the family perspective and like the living too. So I when I was a resident, I was living in Coconut Grove, which is a little bit south of Brickell. Then I moved to Edgewater, a little bit north of Brickell, and now live in Plantation, which is a little bit more north, because it's a more open area to have a house. So I'm a little bit farther, but I will say that there are some residents that live more in Broward area, and it's very doable. We have some fellows that live in the Broward area and make it work. So just know that if you're in that position, it's definitely something that is doable, and don't feel like you have to live in Brickell or nowhere else. And then I'm glad you asked me that question, Dr. Alba, because it is something I have 3 kids. I hope you didn't hear one of them screaming a little bit ago. It was a little madness. but I have 3 kids. I had one in residency, and then I had one as a chief, and then I had one as faculty. And I always tell people that, because people ask me, oh, was that really hard when you were a resident? And I say, no, it was actually harder as an attending, and not anything for, as an attending. It's just that I honestly felt so supported when I was a resident. And I felt like, not even just from the faculty, as I mentioned earlier, like my PD was wonderful and was like, okay, this is it. And how are we going to go about this plan? And I felt like I had like a group with me, not like, because I was very scared at that time. So I think that was really important to me. But I also felt like a lot of love from my co-residents at the time. Like they would be like, no, I'm going to see that patient. We got to protect you. And they would like bring me a chair on rounds and little things like that, which to me just like meant the world. And then when I had my baby, I felt a lot of support from the program to get the maximum of time off, because as in medicine, like we don't get enough time as we should, but I felt like everybody was on my side to maximize the time. And so I've come to really like working with residents that are pregnant and kind of helping them along the way. Like one of the recent residents, I actually gave them my old breast pump, and I was like, we're going to do this. We're going to get you there. These are the rooms. I worked with Dr. Shaw on the program that she mentioned earlier about identifying the rooms. I think that those things, I want to pay it forward because I felt like people did it for me. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
I just wanted to add to that, because now that Dr. Chamorro mentioned about pregnancy and support during during residency, I know that was something big for me, because I'm getting married soon during residency, and then planning to have like kids at some point soon, maybe during residency, maybe a little bit after. But it was big for me because family matters a lot. And now that I've seen co-residents going through it, and we have quite a bit of pregnant residents currently. I mean, just like 2 months ago, we had four. Well, Evan, you weren't pregnant, but your wife was, and then we had one that just recently gave birth, and then we have 2 currently still pregnant and very close to delivering, and everyone pregnant at the same time. And it just brought so much happiness to all of us. We've been having baby showers and parties and making clothes for the babies and every kind of support that we can for the expectant moms, and just seeing the program accommodate their schedules and all of us accommodate our schedules for them to just make it work and make it as easy as possible has been incredible. And not only for supporting them, but then personally thinking, wow, look, when I go through it, I kind of want to go through it now. I want all the gifts and I want all the cake. And I feel like the program will offer that to all of us, which is fantastic. It's been such a fun time having them. And now when the babies are born, even better, we get to play with cute kids, which is what we are all here for. So I'm excited.
I just want to make a point that there's paternity leave also. This isn't, you're hearing all the women, but the dads get leave.
Wow. That's so true. That's amazing. Very important.
So speaking of exciting, amazing changes and things we have, including our parenting elective, and, our maternity leave. So one thing, Dr. Shaw, so our program, we, when something isn't working or we want to change something, we do it, right? We don't like to just sit because it's always been like this. We have to do it, right? So what are some things applicants, if I'm like, I want to know what y'all are doing lately, what's on the horizon, what's exciting, what's a few things you can think of, and anyone else can chime in as well that are on the horizon?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great question. How change comes about in our program is either from residency leadership, response to surveys, or resident feedback. So almost every couple of months, we meet with resident representatives. We have a lot of them on with us today, the residents here, and they come to us with any concerns that they might have, any whispers they might have heard from their class about anything difficult or something that they think we should know about and try to address. And we'll kind of brainstorm and work as a team about how to move forward with these issues. So a lot of these initiatives are resident run. Another big thing that we always kind of talk about is our balance of education versus service. And I I think Dr. Alba has been a huge advocate for us, as well as our chief residents, Evan, you included, to always advocate for more support services for our residents and patients, because I think that's how we can deliver the best care. So we're advocating for more social work on the floors as well as in the clinic, which I think is incredibly important. And we're also revisiting all of our schedules. So we also know that too much change is not a good thing, but at the same time, we can't stay stagnant in the way we do things. So we're working with the residents to relook at some schedules to make sure that we're optimizing education and balance of service. So we have a lot of great changes coming. Another big thing that's on the horizon is hopefully a primary care track, as 50% of our residents are now going into primary care. We hope to solidify a primary care track for those residents to best prepare them for independent practice.
And I think as an intern, just speaking, that even we get heard, even though I'm, again, only a few months into residency. Some days on academic half day, the chiefs will actually come to all, like the interns separately. We'll meet separately with the chiefs and we just do debrief sessions, which is really nice because yes, having class reps is amazing, but also it's nice that you get to speak up for yourself as well, with the chiefs right there with you. And I think we are really heard and they're really productive sessions. We talk about how things are going on our different rotations or just how things are going in your personal life if you want to share, how residency is going in general. And I think it's great. I definitely feel heard.
Someone add to that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that I'm a class rep for my class, and now being a year in, I've seen things that we brought up in meetings during my intern year. Now things are happening and they've changed, and it's kind of it's really cool. And I think I answered for someone that asked in the group chat, like some changes that have happened, but people have mentioned them already. But for example, our academic half day, which is our educational time we have on Thursdays, we brought up that we wanted it to be more interactive or a little bit more board focused, and it was changed. The program worked directly with the attendings for each individual specialty that runs each of our academic half days, and asked them to revamp what they're teaching us so that it's more what we want to see and hear and learn for our board studying and preparation. So that happened within my time here. The primary care track that Dr. Shaw and the chiefs did also started in my time here, which with resident feedback. Then in rotations that had more like increased patient loads, I think I used as example, but our newborn nursery, for example, we had a lot of babies that were being born, and we were reaching close to our patient caps that we were like allowed to manage as interns. So the program worked with the hospital to bring on nurse practitioners. And now we have nurse practitioners that help us 7 days a week. So now they take care of part of the patient. So then we never reach those caps, and we feel comfortable and like that we are comfortable with the amount of patients we carry and such. So the program responds to all of our things that we bring up. So if it's something small that they can address within a month, they will. And if it's something that requires more time, it takes a little bit longer to address, obviously. But now that I've been here a year, I've seen those changes. So they're definitely very receptive to everything we say.
Dr. Wiener, I think your hand's in the air, or I think so.
I'll lower it. So I just wanted to point out, those are like program changes, but we are doing individual flexibility for the residents all the time. So you get exposed to pretty much every subspecialty in your first year. But for instance, if you think you may be interested in NICU or PICU, or there's a certain subspecialty you want to have, we'll make sure that will be one of your first rotations in your second year. If you know that you're going to go into HEMONC or you're going to go into ID or whatever subspecialty, and you're going to be applying for that fellowship, and you want to do that subspecialty in your third year as your clinic, most of our residents, if they choose to do that, will be able to do their continuity clinic in that pediatric subspecialty that they will be going into. If there is a track and you don't really know if you want to do the track, you should do a research track or an education one or a general peds, even if you're not in that track, if you want to participate or if you want to have schedule changes that are going to be similar to it, it's very likely that we're going to be able to do that. So there's a lot of individual ones that are going on all the time.
Awesome. So I know we're getting kind of close to the end there, which is pretty exciting, y'all. Right before Dr. Alba closes out, I just wanted to take a quick moment, one, to say thank you so much for being here. Again, this is for y'all, everyone here. There's no script. You know, we didn't tell anybody you have to say these words at this time and breathe at, 6:08 p.m. and then smile at 6:09 p.m. This is who we are. We're a big family. I hope we conveyed that to you. But one thing I think that's really important for y'all as you go through this process, the interview season is very long. It's tedious. You're going to be Zooming all the time. Your eyes are going to hurt sometimes, but take a moment as you go through the process and be proud of yourselves. Think about all the sacrifice you've made to get to this point. And I think, no one knows except for you. So think about all the people who, were on the medical, trail with you. So some people you started with in, let's say, college who, stopped doing medicine because it was hard or they failed a test or things got difficult. And, then you got to medical school. Medical school was just like, what is going on? This is amazing, but it's also so much at once. And then you take the steps and now you're applying. And I think we as people in the medical profession, but especially now you're at the fourth year, your last year, now you're applying, you never take a moment to take a deep breath and be proud of yourself. And I think as you go through the interview trail and the season itself, as you're preparing for the interviews, please be proud of yourselves. More than anything, you deserve to be here. You earned it. And no one can take that away from you. So as you're gearing up, you're getting excited, remember you deserve to be here, ask all of your questions, enjoy the ride, and always remember, look back anytime you feel like, wow, this is tough, how hard you've worked to be here. And we're super excited for y'all. We hope, you interview with us, but wherever you do match, wherever you do interview, enjoy the ride. It's exciting. I'm going to add a slide as Dr. Alba closes it out for us. Nicole, I may need a little assistance here. But Dr. Alba, please take it away. And we're also going to share emails. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. We will try to share emails as well.
Well, I'm just going to close very fast. Once again, thank you for coming in. I hope that we provided information that was interesting for you. We really tried to tailor down to what we had heard from your concerns or ideas of what you wanted to get. We had answered almost 100 questions over the chat. Go team, we did amazing. I really wish you guys had a better understanding and a feel from who we are. I would add to this that when a program calls you for an interview, go with confidence. If they call you because they are interested in you already, and they just want to find out if there is that chemistry and that fit for, not just the paper, but for the person. That's why when you ask, what are you looking for? How should I do in the interview day? I say, be yourself, because our program wants to see you. We have seen all the paper, and believe me when I say that everybody here reviews your application extensively. So when we get you invited and we have you in camera, like in Zoom, we want to know you. We want to see who you are, what are your interests, your motivations, and your deepest desires to become a pediatrician. So that's my best recommendation for you guys. Hope to see you in the interview.
Amazing. We're going to bring up the slide now so you can take a look at everything we have. Again, it's just going to be shared for everyone. We'll send you over our emails to the attendees. Nicole is going to share that with you later so you can have them so you don't have to be rushed to screenshot this. Also, feel free to sign off. We are not looking to see the participants. This is all about y'all. We just want this to be about you. So feel free to sign off as you may. We're just going to be here to chat because we just want to talk about life probably with each other. But feel free to sign off as you'd like. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you to our residents for being here as well. We can't do without you. You're awesome. And wow, there it is. Amazing. Ooh, I can't wait. It's bath time soon, everyone. Very exciting. Brody, his new bathtub. Wow, it's huge. You can fit like 3 people in there now.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Good luck, everyone. It's going to be great.
Same.
Good luck.
Go our residents. You guys rule.
Yeah. There was a lot of activity in the chat. Thank you, guys. You really got it.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions.
That's nice. All right, people is leaving. Amazing. Just in time. That's good. Did we take the picture, Nicole? We need a pic for the Instagram.
Should we throw up the U?
Yes, we should.
Oh, we should do a picture. How do we flip the?
Wait.
How do
I
who's
think
gonna
it has
take
to,
Nicole?
they have to,
I can
Go
take
back.
a screenshot of all of us.
Gabby, you're
Let me
gonna
see.
do
I
it?
think
You got
I think
it?
I can. I think I'm checking it out. Oh, but I can't hold the U.
Why not?
how can you see
While
everybody?
if I
It's in
throw it
your
really
blood,
fast,
Gabby.
but
But she
no,
can do both.
how can I like?
Gabby,
Everybody, go ahead and do the
Excuse,
U.
you have to be able to.
Oh, you can see
Okay,
us
I'm
do
gonna.
you.
got it.
I'm gonna. Okay,
Nicole got it.
Everybody, everybody
good.
go.
I was like,
Wait.
I can't Command Shift 4 and
Hold
do the U.
No.
Hold on. Just hold that U. I'll just take a picture because the screenshot isn't working. Just kidding.
Can you
Print
see
screen.
everybody?
Yes, I have
Oh, that was
everybody
pretty
on.
funny, Dr. Wiener.
Okay, I think I did it, but I'm gonna take a picture as well. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
All right. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you
Woo!
guys.
Guys, you
I
really
was
did a
judging
great
everyone's
job.
form.
Yeah.
LOL.
All right, guys.
Nicole
I
for
mean it.
organizing everything.
You residents rocked. I don't think this was ever done as well as what you guys did.
This
We're
is
done
amazing.
before 7. Amazing, y'all. Awesome
Yeah, we love
blossoms.
you. Thank you.
This